How you going? Hope you're well. It is smack bang in the middle of windrowing season. So we're getting along pretty well. A few little dramas, just break sort of hydraulic hoses. We blew a hydraulic lift ram hose. So we're probably, since the last video, I'm not 100% sure. I'll date it so you can, if you're a repeat watcher, you'll get a bit of an idea. But yeah, it's been pretty busy. I just haven't had time. I had to sort of put the camera down and probably even having more trouble trying to get them edited and get them out to you guys. So, but we're rocking along pretty well. I think we've got roughly, we're at our sort of main job here. There's 350 hectares in this, well, roughly 350, and we've done a bit over 250. So all going to plan. We should get out of here tomorrow. Not running super late. We're sort of 6 a.m. to midnight, roughly thereabouts. So we're getting sort of 18 hours in. So we've had a couple of breakdowns. As I said, a hydraulic hose on the weekend. We were able to get that. Oh, there's a bit of a bump there. That happened Sunday. So we got on to Dan at Specialised Hydraulics in Yarrawonga. He was good enough to come into his shop, and we just met him and got a new hose made up. And then we had I picked up some wire at a job. We actually picked up an extra 250-60 hectares in Victoria. So Josh, who we've been mucking around with the corn stuff, it's one of his contracting jobs that he sows and harvests and sprays. So we went and did that. If you watch if you follow me on Instagram, you would have sort of seen we had the caravan. I was about 50-60 kilometres from home, so it was just easier to take the caravan and spend the night. So we did that twice, and we weren't going to work last weekend, but yeah, that job popped up, so we ended up sort of working. Yeah, so I picked up some wire out there and actually damaged one of the seals in the new motors on the rotor shears. So funnily enough, it let go today and dropped all the oil out on the ground. So what we've done is we've just got a, probably can't see it from here, just bear with me. GPS, where are you? Just turn around. So we took it off today. So on the left hand side of the machine, we've just got a normal crop divider. It seems to be working all right. So yeah, let go today, and then we just put a joiner in the hoses, so just to complete the circuit for the hydraulics, and we probably lost an hour and a half. I'd actually go to Melbourne today. I had to take my parents down to the airport, so I wasn't here for 6 hours roughly. It's a sort of 6 hour round trip to go down to the airport from here. So did that. So Brendan's been on it all day, was going really well, and just as I got back, the seal went. We ran around and got it organised, chucked some oil back in the machine. I did an hour, and the bloody hose that we linked together got a split in it, so we dropped another 40 litres out on the ground. So Jay turned up. I just cut the hose and put what we call a reusable joiner in it. It's probably got a technical name, and just fixed it up again. And I've come down here about 9:30 to jump on the machine or take over from Jay, and got in it, and we're low on hydraulic oil. So I've just been home and I've put another 40 litres of oil in it. So I think we've actually I think that's the third time we've done that. So we put 120 litres of oil in it while we've been working, and the oil was actually changed at the start of the season as well. So it's had 160 litres of oil put in it for the season. So I've got one of the main hoses here that's leaking. Oh, it's not leaking. The flat face fittings dripping. So obviously we're losing a bit of oil there as well. So in the morning, Dan Specialised Hydraulics. He's got some seals coming for this motor, so when they come in, we go and get them. I'm going to replace those flat face fittings as well. We've done what we did one lot at the start of the harvest that were leaking, and I reckon these ones haven't done much more and they've started dripping. So yeah, so we are losing a bit of oil there, but other than that, we haven't got too many other drips and that, but there's quite possibly, you can't see it dripping, but there's quite possibly more coming out of there than what we thought. Right, so a bit of an update what's going on. We're still doing hay. Brendan should finish pressing the early stuff down there in the morning. Gonna get Tony on the rake down there, so again Brendan does the bulk of the mowing and raking when we contract. It's just part of a deal I got with him, but we'll get Tony on his rake so he can bale while he's due, and then I'll get him to come and hop on this and Tony can finish raking. What's happened is we've had a bit of a mishap with the pivot pump, with the suction on the dam for the pivot. There's been a bit of backhammer go on, and we've had where there's a rubber boot that joins the aluminium. I'll show you in the morning, the aluminium to the poly. It's come apart. The aluminium, being full of water, has dropped down and it's stuffed that aluminium pipe that runs out to the river screen. So I've got to go to Finley. I want to get it going again so we can get some loosened water for the lambs. We finished watering the canola. It's still a few days off windrowing, but I want to get it going, so I'm going to have to go to Finley in the morning, get another length of 8-inch aluminium pipe. We'll salvage the aluminium flange off that pipe that's damaged, and yeah, we'll weld the flange on the new bit of pipe and get it back together, and just have a look at that river screen, because we're having hell's own trouble getting it to prime. It's a real pain in the ass, and it shouldn't be as hard as what it is. So I don't know what's going on with it, and I'm not 100% sure what one of the guys, Tony, started it, so I'm not 100% sure what the hell's going on with it. I've never had that happen before to me. So anyway, it's a bit going on. Corn's up, corn looks good. I was a bit concerned about it. If you watched a couple ago, I thought we may have drowned it after some rain and irrigating it, but we do have good rows, so I think Miranda's going to come out in a couple of days again and have a look at it. Yeah, and we're nearly time to put the rams in for joining, so that'll happen in a couple of days time too. So yeah, there's a bit going on, but the windrowing job's we're getting it in a corner. We'll finish probably the last of the dry land Friday, and then we've got to go back across the river for 120 hectares, and then yeah, we'll be back over here for some irrigation. So we're getting there. It's it's all it's been pretty good. The crops have come in a timely manner, where we haven't had to bust our freckle to get stuff, run it round the clock. We have, I think, 1 a.m.'s the latest I've run it. So yeah, it's been alright actually. So yeah, anyway, we'll keep going here for a couple of hours, and yeah, so we haven't got as much to do tomorrow. Morning. So we had another failure late last night. We've worked out where the oil's coming from, so it's pretty hard to tell when the machine's running, because you can't see it. But this flat face fitting, we replaced that one. It had been weeping, so we replaced it at the start of windrowing, and we should have replaced his mate, because he's gone out in sympathy as well. So what I'm going to have to do is, it's about a bit after 6, so there's nothing open in town yet anyway. I'm going to have to get some oil, and I'm going to have to get a couple of these fittings. So I'm hoping I can just go to one town and get both, but yeah, we run Castrol oil, always have. So yeah, I can get it in Cobram, but these fittings I might have to go and see Dan in Specialised Hydraulics in Yarrawonga. I know he has those fittings. So the ones we took off, which are those two, are actually different threads. Surprise, surprise. So Yeah, I thought I might have just been able to screw them or swap them over just for the time being to get us going again, but it looks like we're just going to have to fix it properly. So, yeah, so anyway, another 40 litres of oil out on the ground, 38, whatever it was, 5. So anyway, we'll get out of here today. We're going all right. There's no mad panic. So we've got about, I reckon it's about 70 hectares left here. So if we can get things turning and it's good going, get things turning, well, it won't take us all day. So anyway, I'll try and I'm having trouble. I forgot to bring a bigger shifter with me. I'm just having trouble getting these apart, so I've got to hammer them. Hopefully I can crack it, and otherwise I'll just have to duck home. We're only 5 minutes from home. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but anyway, yeah, we can get this stuff if we need. Yeah, go and get another shifter if we need to. So it's not the end of the world. But I want to take these fittings with me so I get the right thread, because I just naturally thought they'd be the same, but they're not. That's not quite where we want it. It's the next one. Might have to tie that up, I think, because what might happen is it'll end up draining what oil is left in the tractor. But it's definitely the wrong size anyway. On a side note, the new toolboxes with all the gear in it are working really well. Just get it back on there for a minute. It's a bit agricultural. We won't do that. It's not to get covered in hydraulic oil. So I don't know what I said. It just runs a 15W40, which is just an engine oil. In the hydraulics rather than hydraulic oil, so that is a bit of a bonus because we've got plenty of it, but we've used it all. So anyway, as I said, we are tracking along pretty well. So yeah, it's no super panic. It's probably one thing with these hybrid crops, which I have spoken about, is the plant doesn't shut down really. So the stalk's quite green, the pods are quite leathery. Yeah, there's still quite a lot of green still in it, so we're not under too much pressure, which is good. Righto, we'll wrap them up. Those two aren't any use to us, but yeah, we might give it a grease, and then we'll. When we get back, we're ready to go. Yeah, I think that'll be the go. Hot day, back at the machine. So we've got oil, and we've got fittings. Now this fitting here isn't quite 100% right. That end of it obviously is, but we've had to. That end's got a big end on it to go on the hose. So what we've had to do is just a couple of to step it, but I'm not 100% confident that's going to work. But anyway, we'll see how we go. I've got some thread tape and paste there, so we'll paste it up and get it on, and then see how it goes. And hopefully we're rolling again very shortly. I suspected we were going to have trouble. So that fitting won't screw onto there. It gets half a thread on, and so it's not right. So what I'll do is, yeah, we'll have to go and see Dan the man. That's all right. We're halfway there, but not all the way. Bit after lunch now. We're rocking along pretty well. We've got one more block after this one. There's about 45 hectares over here, I think. It's a little bit along that edge to the south there that he must have had to go at irrigating, so it was a bit leany. But yeah, they're pretty handy dryland crops, these. I haven't really, for the rain we've had, and I've mentioned it, for the rain we've had, crops are pretty handy, whether they've got, your peel pods, there seems to be plenty of grain there, so fingers crossed that they sort of yield as well as what they're windrowing. The boys, Brendan, he's finished pressing the first lot of hay, and Tony, he was raking hay down as well, so they're both back at home. We just need to try and get, Brendan's going to go and chuck some string in the baler, give it a grease, and then we need to get this pivot pump going, so just trying to work a plan of attack out there, whether someone's going to have to go and get the pipe, so yeah, Brendan's going to go through the baler, and then he's going to give me a call, so I'll just see. It's probably with the way that a little bit of irrigated stuff was here, it's a bit tangly, which I was sort of, because Brendan's still only learning, I sort of didn't want to chuck him in here, but yeah, another sort of 3 quarters an hour I'll have this side finished, and then it'll just be a case of, yeah, doing the bit of irrigation in the next block, and he can probably come and finish it. So anyway, we'll see how we go, but touch wood, we're rocking along pretty well. We've finished up where we were and shifted. Yeah, we're in some irrigation here now. It's a little short, funny shaped bays, so it's taking a bit of concentrating, half runs and that sort of stuff, so we're not dropping the windrow on the check bank. Yeah, sort of the number one rule in flood irrigation is you don't sit the windrows on the check bank, because it makes it very hard to pick them up with a big up front. So just it's a bit tricky in the dark here, because yeah, you can't see them, and they've sort of a couple of spots confused me because they've left a bit of a gap with the air seeder, and I sort of thought it was a check bank, but it actually wasn't. So anyway, we're getting there. There's about 20 hectares here, and I've done. Jay started, he came out again, he gave me a hand to shift. So yeah, he just called me, had hit something with the rotor shear. We had a couple of bent knives on the rotor shear, so I just straightened them up with the shifter, and I know what's going on. I need one on this other side, the one that's still remaining is starting to leak. So yeah, we've got seals, hopefully they'll be here tomorrow, so we can get some new seals in them. But yeah, I'm not too sure what the go is. We might have to do a bit more investigating, whether we're getting a bit of back pressure and it's popping the seals. The one on the left hand side, it definitely, probably the other day when we wrapped some wire around it. Yeah, I reckon that took the seal out of that one, so yeah, anyway, we're getting there. We are getting there. Righto, we're back at home, we'll get the light in the right spot. So yeah, got the machine there. I've left the comb. It was basically next door, so I left my ute trailer there and the comb and trailers there. So I've just brought the tractor home. Truck needs some fuel in it, and then we're going to service it in the morning and give it a wash. And the radiators need a wash out, so we'll do that in the morning and then shift camp. And yeah, just try and catch up on a few jobs tomorrow, and then we'll get back into it again. We've got 120 hectares over the river to do, which we'll do over the weekend. Today's Thursday, and then back again. So yeah, we're getting ticked off. We've got this 120, another 70, and then another 170, I think, but it is a bit green, the last stuff. So look out, the light has timed out. Oh, that's better, we're back again. So anyway, all right, we're getting a bit done. So yeah, it is midnight. It's a bit later than what I wanted it to be tonight, but anyway, we're just yeah, got a thing on tomorrow that I've got to go to at about lunchtime. So yeah, let's just get that one out of the road, and then we can move on to the next job. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Well, yes, see you next time. Bye bye.